First of all, welcome back to the channel, and here we are with another sit down talk. Unfortunately this week I have injured my back to the point where I was in bed all day yesterday and can barely move still. Even being sat down, I am in agony. I'm on a lot of painkillers and all that, but I'm not able to work out in there building vans and stuff. But that's fine because, you know, we're on top of things and I've got a good team around me. What I want to talk about this week is sort of the customer service side of things and customer service versus realism, and how I've never really been a customer service kind of guy. I've worked in like retail and stuff before, but never really been that too bothered about that kind of thing. And also the way Coalition Vans grew was from being real, from being sort of, you know, one of the ways that Liam the Terrible grew was by speaking my mind and not giving too much of a fuck about what people think and being outspoken, swearing and all that kind of thing. And, you know, Coalition Vans is similar to that in that when we speak to customers, we speak to them proper. We don't bullshit anybody. We don't sugarcoat anything. What you see is what you get. That sounds cliche, but it is. And any customer that has come here to us will know that. If they come to us with a bad idea, we'll tell them that's a shit idea, you can't do that. Or, you know what I mean? So we still use bad language sometimes, and some people watching this will think, oh, you can't do that, you can't say this, can't say that. Whereas the other half of people watching this will be like, good on you. So I want to talk about that a little bit. It's been, so far that strategy has worked. We get lots of customers come through the door saying, we've come to you because you're realistic and you're not that, you know, last video when I said I would turn into a corporate knobhead, people come to me because I'm not that, because we're straight talking. I had a guy come yesterday, so I'll talk about customers actually. I had a guy come yesterday that wanted a job doing. I just said to him, I said, look, you're better off doing this yourself. I said, you're more than capable of doing it. I told him how to do it. I said, I don't want to take this job on. It's not worth it. It's going to cost you so much more money having us do it when the cost to benefit ain't going to be there. So I would rather turn work down than rip people off, because it's not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it to me. If I'm not getting satisfaction out of the job, if I'm not getting satisfaction out of that customer being happy, if the customer's going to leave here thinking, fucking hell, it just cost me an arm and a leg, I can't afford that, or that's way more than I expected, then I ain't interested in doing it. This ain't, I've said it before 1,000 times, this Coalition Vans ain't about money. It's not about that. It's about, first of all, it's about us being satisfied, because if we're not happy in our work, in our job, then it might as well not exist. A close second is customers. Obviously, without customers, the company wouldn't exist anyway, but if it ain't for customer satisfaction, Lee's a perfectionist, Bruce is a perfectionist, Andy's a perfectionist, I'm a perfectionist. We don't want anything leaving here unless that customer's happy with it, and we're 100% happy with it. There have been times where we've been like, oh, I don't know, you know, but the customer's been happy with it, or the other way around, where the customer's not been that happy with it, but we've said, no, that's right, that's been done properly, that price is right, and the customer might be thinking, oh, that's a bit expensive, or I wish it could have been a little bit cheaper, or I wish you know, when somebody comes with a van and they say, I've seen this on Pinterest, and I've seen this on Pinterest, and I've seen this on Pinterest, I want all 5 of these things in my van, and we have to say, all 5 of those things are in 5 separate vans. We can't put all 5 of those things in one van. It just wouldn't work realistically, and practically it wouldn't work. You'd have no room for this, no room for this, no room for this. But also, we couldn't physically do those things. So there are times we have to let the customer down in that way. That doesn't happen very often, because we try our best to make everything that the customer wants, and we do bend over backwards. The T5.1 that we just built for Peter, what his plan was, we just made it work. We just, every step of the way, we just consulted with him and said, right, this is what you can have, this is what you can't have, this is what will work, this is what won't work. And he was happy with it, happy as Larry. But we pretty much made everything that he wanted, that he drew on a piece of cardboard, we made that a reality for him. And in the end, he's ended up saying it's better than what he expected, and he's blown away by it. Just on that particular person, this is how we've ended up working this job. So he came from an hour past Inverness. So he's come from the top of Scotland. 6-hour drive down here, I think it was, or possibly more. Think about how many campervan companies he's passed on the way down here, but he's come to us. He's come to us for a reason, because he knows that we have a shared skill set and we are quite dynamic in what we can do. And we listen to customers, and even if we've never done it before, we'll say, right, okay, can we make that work? We can make that work. We've got the tools to do it. We'll do it. That's it. So we take on jobs and make them work. Even if we doubt our skill set a little bit and think, oh, that might be a bit difficult. We say, well, we enjoy the challenge of it. Lee and Andy and Bruce all enjoy learning a new skill or learning to build a new thing. When we all stood back at that T5, that wasn't a huge job. It wasn't a full van build or anything. But the satisfaction we all got from that job, never mind Bruce, who did the majority of the work, we all look back and thought, we're proud of that. We are happy to see that van leave. Peter stayed with us for 4 days because he'd come so far. He got a hotel, but soon got bored. He was an older gentleman as well, so probably limited in what he could do as far as walking and exploring. But he got a bit bored of walking around, so he ended up staying in the unit, which to start with, admittedly, I was like, fucking hell, he's not going to be around all week, is he? Because we don't really want that. We don't really want customers looking over us all the time, and we don't allow customers to be out in the workshop ordinarily anyway. But for the first few hours, I was a bit like that, but then he sort of just fit in, and he was sat down, he wasn't watching over what we were doing, and then within the first day or two, he was sweeping up, he was moving stuff around, putting rubbish in the bin, putting kettle on, all that kind of stuff, and he just sort of fit into it was almost like another employee, and it was bizarre. Anyway, on a funny part of that, we were calling him Richard for the first 3 days. I told everybody his name was Richard and his name was Peter, and he just turned around one day and just went, my name's Peter. It's southern, but lives up top of Scotland. So we'd been calling him the wrong name, and he'd just gone with it for 3 days. Anyway, he was in good spirit. He was a top bloke, and he was blown away by the job we've done. That's an example of like a good customer service. But one of the things that you don't hear about is bad situations, and in this industry especially, you're never going to get 100% good record. Like, there's always going to be customers that aren't exactly happy with stuff, and I'm happy to tell you that we've had unhappy customers. We've had customers that aren't entirely happy with their van build, or asked us to change something another way, or have brought the van back after 3 months and said this is leaking, or whatever it is. Of course we've had that, and for the most part there's snagging issues where if you buy a full van build, we don't road test that van for 3 months. We build that van, get it all working, and then you take it away, and while you're driving that van, things are going to move, things are going to stretch, things are going to get warm and cold and all that. So we always advise customers to bring it back anyway. Go take it out for a month or two, bring it back, we'll do a full health check on it, make sure everything's all right. Sometimes customers aren't happy with that, and we have had situations where a customer's been unhappy with the kitchen in their van, so we've compensated them for that, and hopefully that situation's dealt with. Components have failed in vans before. We've had it straight back in, we've replaced that component, we've sent that back to the manufacturer, we've got a refund or a replacement or whatever it is. You're gonna get that. We are only as good as the parts we fit to a certain extent. So if a Victron part fails, which is very rare, but it does happen, we've got to be prepared to fix that, and we try and get the customer in as soon as possible and get that rectified. We're always polite to customers, always friendly with customers. The key thing that I've always said from day one is that our customers are part of our family, and especially ones that we have who have the bigger van builds, because we talk to them a lot more, they are considered a part of the family. We had Dave and Bonita, shout out to them, Dave and Bonita's Adventures, I believe their YouTube's called. Go subscribe to them. They came back after, in the last video you'll have seen, they came back after 18 months and some LED lights had failed. No problem. Ordinarily I would say there's a 12-month warranty on a van. To come back 18 months later, it ain't a big deal. It took me half an hour max to replace them LED lights. Them LED lights were probably a tenner. To keep them happy, they're going to recommend us to lots more people for the sake of a tenner and half an hour of my time. More than happy to do it. I would have felt bad saying, you've just spent 20 grand on a van build, well, 18 months ago, I'm going to charge you a tenner for these LEDs. Fuck, there's more to life than that. I'd rather take that tenner out of my own wallet and say, there you go. So we do have sort of an extended warranty to a certain extent. I've got a guy coming back this week who's been away for a year in like Morocco and stuff. His max fan stopped working. Again, not our fault. It's a max fan issue. He's going to bring that back. We're going to look at that. I'm going to try and get it sorted. Probably get a replacement. Vans come back. That's just the way it is. There's no other way around it. It's like building a house. If you built a new house and you move into your new house, you're going to find things that aren't right once you start using it. And we're open about that. We had a guy this week had a diesel heater fitted, and we couldn't put the diesel heater in the place he wanted it because there was hydraulics underneath the floor. So I don't think he was dead happy about that. But again, not our fault. And then he wanted the cable routing probably 5 meters away under the floor and stuff. And we said, look, there's issues with that we might disturb some of the cabling. We're not 100% happy with doing it. But we got the diesel heater up and running. We showed him it running, wired it in, all that kind of thing. I don't think he was 100% happy. But we did everything we could do in that situation. And I think that he's maybe got some bits to finish off. He seemed like a nice bloke. But sometimes customers leave here and they're not 100% happy, or we get that feeling that they're not 100% happy. But as long as we know we've done a fucking good job of it, that's mainly what matters. If that guy wants to come back for any reason, of course he's welcome back. Anyway, that gives you an insight into some of the customer service that or how we work things. But even in the vans that are in now, we're doing our best with those vans. We're building them to the highest quality possible for us. All the customers up to now are happy. I think that one of the vans, the Iveco, has been in a little bit longer than we would have liked. But the customer knew it was going to be in longer because we were moving around that time. So it came in just before we moved. So it has been here 5 weeks now. We did let the customer know that, you know, you can bring it, but we might not get it started straight away, and we're moving, so we've got other things to do. So, you know, there's got to be some understanding there. But for me and for Lee, who's working on it now, it has been here a bit longer than we would have liked, or we've not made as much progress as we would have liked. We're still aiming for that 8 weeks. It may go a little bit over, given that we have just moved and everything. But again, the customer is fairly flexible on that. But we would hate for that customer to get to the point where that customer is upset with it. Some companies might have a van for 3 months or 6 months or 8 months or whatever. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get ourselves into that situation where we've got vans that are here for that long. 8 weeks is a target, and we've never gone over that apart from these vans that are in now. Well, the Iveco, but again, that's different circumstances. The Vario that we've got in, the Vario is progressing well, but because I've just hurt me back, I'm not able to work on it. However, there's still stuff that other people can do. There's still stuff that Bruce can do with the electrics, and he's been cracking on with the solar and all that kind of stuff, and reverse cameras and all that extra stuff. This van was meant to be in probably 3 months ago, but it had engine problems, so we had to delay it. Again, not our problems. It was a customer that had to get a new head fitted to it. So we'd already booked the Iveco in at that point, and bear in mind we were at the old unit where we could only really do one full van build at a time. So it's come here late. It's come here when we're moving and settling into our new place, and it's come here while we've already got other builds on. So again, that customer's fairly flexible. I don't think they're in a massive rush for it anyway, but still aiming for that 8 weeks if possible. Again, it's got another 3 weeks left. If my back were, have I mentioned I've got a bad back? I've probably hardly mentioned it in this video. If my back were fine, I think that another 3 weeks on that would be achievable. I've got plumbing and electrics to do. I've got the wall finish to do, which is a day's work, I think. I hurt my back doing the kitchen. I just leaned forward slightly and felt like I'd been stabbed in the spine, and I've been unable to move very much since. But it's only one kitchen unit and some electrics. It ain't that much, but again, with the circumstances now, it might take a little bit longer. But again, that customer is flexible because it came in late anyway. The Sprinter that is in, we did tell the customer that he could leave the van here, but we might not start it yet. We have actually made some progress on it, so we've been jumping on that as and when. There's a possibility that we might have another employee coming in, maybe part-time, but I'll talk about that in another video potentially, who can help with that as well. So there might be 5 of us working on 3 vans, which should get these out. We have got other vans lined up after these. As soon as one's out, there's another van coming in, but we're not going to take on any more van builds until at least one of these is out of that door. There's no way I'm taking on another van build. We've got customers coming this week to bring vans to us for us to have a look around, to quote them for full van builds. But until one of these is out, there ain't another van coming in this unit. Absolutely not. I'm not having it, no matter what. I cannot bring myself to do that. I don't want to be taking on too much work. Again, wouldn't it be nice if I just took loads of money? Would be nice to have loads of money in bank, but it's not the way I want to work this. This is about keeping customers satisfied. That's the main thing. Anyway, I've rambled on for a little bit. I hope you enjoy these little videos. These are just, off the cuff. I've not got all written down. It's just what's going on in here. I just want to talk about good and bad customer service and good and bad customers, and times where we've probably not done our best or there have been problems and that. I'm open about these things, and I talk face to face to a camera because it's a bit more, it's better, isn't it, talking face to face to a camera rather than hiding behind anything else. So thank you for that. Thank you for enjoying the videos. I appreciate all of you. Bye, Felicia.